All right, good morning, you guys. I'm going to discuss something that's kind of taboo with any religious person. There's people that will freak out if you ask them this question. The question was asked, what if Jesus is only a historic being? It's only the stuff in the Bible is only about a man who lived. Okay, let's go by that. Let's go through that. Jesus, at 30 years of age, decides that there's a higher being and that he is the son of that higher being. So he gives himself belonging, he gives himself purpose. I am my father's son, and this is what the father believes. He then decides that he will take these people that he sees going opposite directions of the faith, even in Jewish faith, doing things that are mean, that are nasty, that are immoral, and he says, "Okay, let's set this straight." So he goes to the synagogues and he teaches these people, even at a young age. What was he, like 12, 13, the first time he ever taught in the synagogue? So he sees at a young age. Now, that never happens. We never have our kids tell us we shouldn't smoke or we shouldn't drink or that we shouldn't cuss, right? Okay. So the kid had a visual. He's seen that his people, the people that he was around that were supposed to be this way or that way, were not being that this way or that way. So he said something. Okay. Kudos to him that he did. Um, so he goes on and he's 30 and he decides that there's a higher being and he is the son of that higher being. Okay. So now he's even more comfortable with talking to the people that are around him because he's been in this faith. And now he knows the laws of those people and he's pointing out things. And he's saying that we should not kill each other. We should not do this. We should not do that. And he points it out. But let's go a step further. So all the times that Jesus healed somebody was him having knowledge of how your body works. Having knowledge of how your brain works. Because remember, there was people that were supposed to be demon possessed. They had cut themselves, and if we live in today's time, there are no demons. So we're going by, this is just history, okay? And I'm not tearing anybody down, so please do not take it that way. I am looking at it as from a history standpoint only, okay? I'm looking at it as pure reality, okay? So if we live in today's time, we say there's no such thing as demons. If we're that kind of person, we believe that there are no demons. This is my brain. My brain is broken, and this is the way I am. And I'm not giving you a downfall on that, okay? But what I'm saying is if we have that logic, so and we go back to the history time of Jesus and we look at it, so that means that Jesus was completely, utterly, superhumanly smart, because he not only was telling people how to live and preaching it that way, saying that there was a higher being and he was a part of that higher being, but he also was performing miracles that he had to have complete knowledge of how your brain works. This person is I'm not sure what all the terms are for people that cut themselves, and I'm not sure what all the terms are for people that they said at one point the person had a demon, and so they would be considered deranged. So he had to know how to deal with these people, how to talk to them. So even if we take away all the supernatural part of Jesus, we have to acknowledge that even as a historical being, that he was a superstar. Now, why do I say that? Because the miracles that he supposedly performed, a person no longer being sick, he had to know how the body worked. He had to know how people worked. He had to know the psychology to tell somebody that you are healed and them get up and be able to walk when they couldn't walk, or that he knew that they were faking and that he knew the terminology to use for this particular person for them to get up and walk. So even if he was just a person in history, he was still an awesome person in history. But as for me, even from that point, even from history's standpoint, that he's just a person in history, there was a lot of coincidences that happened for the miracles to happen. There was a lot of knowledge that he had to have in order for these miracles to happen. Or he had to know a whole heck of a lot of people to make those miracles faked pretty good. So all in all, even if he was just a person of history, you've got millions of people that still to this day believe in him. And I understand that some people have problems with that belief because bad things happen. People are allowed to have decisions. Sin is in the world and it is hot and heavy. And every day bad things happen. So I understand the unbelief. I do. And all of us, even the ones that believe in him, have unbelief. But even from a history standpoint, the things that were accomplished in his time, being able to give a people that were losing their faith, even in their traditions and their way of life, because they've seen so many people higher up corruptible and corrupt, that was still a blessing. And Jesus is still a blessing. Whether you believe in him or not, really dig into that history. And always question. Even the Bible tells you, question all things and hold strong to the truth. So once you find that truth, hold on to it. Hold on to it. But make sure that it is the truth. I asked the question. Well, I didn't ask the question. Somebody else asked the question, and it did get me thinking. Because what do you answer somebody that asks that question? And it is an excellent question. It is. It is. Especially when it's faith, because faith is hard for some people. Faith is hard for all of us, especially if we're going through something really rough. It's difficult. So it's a good question. It's an excellent question. And it's something that we all, at one point in our life, have to ask ourselves. Because we got to know what we believe. Otherwise, people are going to pull the wool over our eyes on everything. So we got to know. You have to know, where do my morals come from? And why do I believe what I believe? And why do they believe what they believe? That's the heart of a human. That's the heart of the Holy Spirit working in you to try to get you where you need to be. Never stop asking. Never stop questioning, and never stop digging for the truth. Don't just ask one person. Don't just go to one source. Find out what you believe. I love you guys. You are worthy and you are loved. Every day is worth celebrating. There is something in that day worth celebrating. I love you, and I'll see you on the next.